with that, we're live. We got a little bit of lo-fi going on here till draft starts. But we're live. We got this lo-fi rolling, and I'm gonna slide off camera to take my dab. We've got about 7 minutes till the draft starts. Really excited. Alright. Hey, welcome in, Chimera. Thanks for joining in. Daniel Barry, thanks for dropping in as well. Let me know, guys. Is the lo-fi a little too loud tonight, or are we doing all right? I'm going to slide off camera for a sec. In through a fog of smoke. I'm glad the lo-fi sounds good, by the way. But yeah, draft order has been decided. It was randomly generated off of the draft room opening. So with that being said, we got my boy Dan Jones, Team Jones, going to be picking number 1. Cahill, one of our Seahawks guys, picking number 2. Kurt Co Drippin, love the name, picking 3. My boy Twat Waffles, picking number 4. It's gonna be my boy Tyler. Revenite, my boy, aka Chimera, our other Bills guy, coming in with pick number 5. Your boy D-Rave got pick number 6. And actually, what's really funny is I did a draft earlier today, and that's exactly where I was picking. So I feel real nice and comfortable right there. Chimera, who you taking, man? You got to pick ahead of me. Who you taking? Who's your guy? Taking this lo-fi tonight. Let me talk to you. Gotta get some of our gifts up. We got some gifts that we're almost ready for on the clock. This could be a life-changing moment for their team, ladies and gentlemen. Life-changing moment. You've chosen wisely, my friends. You've chosen wisely. That's what the draft's all about! I gotta love, I got all my memes. All my gifts ready, I should say. I'm gonna do what's best for the team. I think I want to resize these. I think I want to make them bigger. On the app, I'm working on it, Chimera, so I can tell you exactly. So when I enter like the NFL fantasy app, I come to, it's kind of hard to see that screen, so it shows my name. I literally just hit, I think, enter draft, and I don't want to do it because I'm on multiple. Okay, oh, cool. Glad you got it, Chimera. But yeah, Chimera, who's your pick? Daniel Berry Sports. I know you're not in this league, but if you were, who you taking number 1 overall? I mean, I don't know if anyone's seen the latest update. Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee, not expected to be a long-term injury. But so I think on the low side may miss 2 weeks, but I mean, you got to be a hyperextended knee is essentially the same as a small grade is it PCL or LCL, but basically a small tear of the ligament in a sense. So you know, I know you, Chimera, you probably taken your boy Stephon Diggs number 1 as my guess. If I had to take a guess here at how you're gonna draft, it's gonna be number 1 Stephon Diggs. Second round? I don't know if you have enough faith in your. See, all right, Chimera. I'm gonna be honest with you because I'm doing a stream. No matter what, I gotta be. Um, but so my problem is this: your running back room. I think you're gonna kind of use a committee approach. In your tight end room, you already have your boy Dawson, but you also got a young, good tight end behind him. I forgot his name. My apologies. Let me see. I'm literally gonna find his name now because it's gonna drive me up a wall. This is halfway the reason, guys, I'm doing all of this extra fantasy. It's not Reggie or Gilson. I swore you had someone else. Maybe I'm tripping. Now I gotta double check myself. We go into the Bills depth chart. We 1 minute away from the draft start. Yeah, I knew I wasn't tripping. Y'all's first round pick, Dalton Kincaid. So your tight end is gonna have room's gonna be a little split too, which is why I'm like, another big thing we're looking at, guys, is gonna be strength of schedule. As you can see here on PFF, we've got a nice little chart up. Yo, what up, CarCast 49ers? Welcome in and thanks for joining us tonight, man. What's up? CarCast in the chat. What's up? Starting in 1 minute, 5 seconds. But so here we have, guys, a strength of schedule chart, basically showing 22 performance versus opponents of 23. So of course you have the Bills and the Chiefs performed almost at the best here. Your 49ers, Bengals right here as well. And the high side 2022 ELO. When you look at your 2023 ELO, the 49ers pretty nice schedule. So that's adds value to Christian McCaffrey. Well, it takes away value from teams like the Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, and Cowboys. So it's definitely something to kind of keep an eye on here a little bit. Got some interesting metrics here, that's for sure. But yeah. It's nice, though, the 49ers have a bye week in between Bengals, Jaguars, Eagles. That's pretty clutch.
Your team is now on the clock.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize. I'm on the clock. Holy shit, Travis Kelce's still on the board. Fuck, he's gonna miss a few weeks. I mean, dude, I gotta take him. I know he's got the injury. It's worrisome, but, like, got to, right? Sorry, guys, I didn't get to increase the time on the draft picks, too, by the way. But if you watched anything, you'll know that Kelsey's average draft position was actually at 6. So I got him right about where I'm supposed to get him. I really wasn't confident in any of the wide receivers or running backs on the board, in my opinion. So I'm really hoping I've got some of these guys that I'm looking at on my board here. At least tight end I don't have to address till much later, and I'm looking for a guy that can play 3 games for me this season, essentially, which I've got a couple guys in mind. Oh, Pollard comes off the board right there. Oh, Bijan Robinson right after. God, there goes some good guys. Chubb comes off the board. On the clock, greatest show on paper. Josh Jacobs comes off board. I was just about to make a comment about Josh Jacobs. I'm unsure on that pick because, like, the Raiders, I've heard they're mutiny in the locker room right now a little bit.
Your team is now on the clock.
This is tough. Oh, man. Not a good matchup early. This is tough, man. I am torn in so many different directions right now. I'm not gonna lie with you. Oh, actually, I got my guy. Never mind. I'm so excited to add Garrett Wilson to the roster right there. I'm thinking with Aaron Rodgers, that kid's gonna be electric this year. So we got tight end off the board early. We got wide receiver 1 off the board early. I'm not a no running back guy. I've heard some really interesting ways to play fantasy football too. I've heard what is the Reaper method, where basically one player just gets to only pick people off of the free agent wire after the draft, and if they beat anybody else in the league, they get to permanently steal basically one player off that team. Because it's going to be really hard for them to win not drafting any players, and the other teams are of course going to have very deep rosters. But it sounded like a really fun way to play the game. I'm not going to lie with you. I would love to have a league style like that. Who you taking, Chimera? Who you taking, my guy? Man, I got so many. Gotta wait so long for this pick. I'm gonna lose so many players, and I know it. Patrick Mahomes just came off the board in round 2. What? By Cahill. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got a lot of faith in Cahill, too. Oh, Mon St. Brown, wide receiver, coming off the board. Devontae Adams coming off the board. Gibbs. Oh, there goes Josh Allen off the board. Round 3. Kirko, Twat, and Revenite coming back up. Man. Derrick Henry went off the board right before Wilson. I got a lot of faith in Gibbs from Detroit. I think he's going to have a really good year this year. He's just very versatile. Oh my god, I didn't. Bro, Chimera, I thought that was you that took Josh Allen. Bro, that's a Bengals fan. A Bengals fan just took Josh Allen. No. I'm going to put that in chat. Hold on. Did a Bengals fan just take Allen over Burrow? Bro. What? Bro. Oh. I got to fill some holes still at wide receiver and running back. It's still too early to be taking quarterbacks, man. I think someone panicked a little bit there when Patrick Mahomes came off the board. I think Team Jones panicked a little bit, and they didn't know what to do. Higgins coming off the board. Let's see. All right, we got to take a look who's available still. Okay. We still got some good wide receivers, some good running backs still on the board. I'm excited. 2 picks. Counting it down, man. I'm looking at a guy. I see him on my board. I want him. I've got faith in him. Oh my god. These picks are killing. I'm sorry, Chimera. If you're there, I am truly sorry for you. That one hurt. Oh, Joe Mixon.
Your team is now on the clock.
Oh. If you've been listening, it's all been a smokescreen. I want my MVP. Lamar Jackson coming back home to my team. I'm not even taking a chance. I don't care. I know it's early for a quarterback to be taken. Oh, I'm having fun. Ooh, TJ Hawkinson comes off the board. And Chimera taking my boy Mark Andrews. Joke's on you, Chimera. You don't know. Charlie Kolar and Isaiah Likely are going to steal some of his touchdowns in the red zone. So, meh. We're going to have a tight end by room. Ooh, Jalen Hurts. I'm starting to continuing this quarterback run going on right now. Oh, Olave comes off the board. Someone I was really looking forward to grabbing, honestly. Man. Lower this lo-fi a little bit. Seems like it's a little loud. This is tough, guys. Like, oh. All right. So we've got QB, wide receiver, tight end. We're taking care of that offense. We got to address the running back room. Man, this is okay. I see players I like. What up, Peo? I'm live. You can watch and take my strategy if you want. So I'm doing live smoke screens even. All right, we're almost back on the clock. Who's been taken all so far? Amari Cooper, Jalen Waddle came off the board, so we got a wide receiver run started. That works for me since I already got my number one, but I think I got some insider knowledge on number 2, to be honest with you. So I'm more comfortable taking a wide receiver later. I might.
Your team is now on the clock.
Oh, here we are, baby. God, I'm torn here, chat. I kind of like Hall. I kind of like Pierce. Oh, wait, no. Never mind. I'm staying steady and true here. This might come back to bite me. I'm taking a rival. Hey, you got your boy Herbert? Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I liked Kellen Moore in when he was in Dallas. I covered Kellen Moore slightly whenever I was going over the head coaching search. Or I'm sorry, not the head coaching search, the offensive coordinator search for the Baltimore Ravens, which at the time I was also looking at the potential of Harbaugh's replacement. Man, I got respect for the Steelers. I don't like them, but I respect them. Iron sharpens iron, ladies and gentlemen. So we pay our respects, and I'll be honest. In that preseason game, that all-starting offense looked good, and they're gonna lean on him heavy. I was really torn there, to be honest with you. Yeah, my broadcast probably is just a tad bit behind. Oh, God, my pick can't get here fast enough. Take a look here. So who we got who came off the board? Yep, Devonta Smith came off the board. Was eyeing him. Darren Waller, former Raven, came off the board. Rashad Stevenson from the not Eagles. Patriots came off the board. Etienne, the Jaguars, and Kittle, Team Jones. Man, Team Jones stealing all the players, man. Ooh, and then goes with Aaron Jones. Jones takes Jones in the 5th to start the 5th round. I'm coming up here. Oh, shit, that scared the piss out of me. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Peo. That offense, especially in the final preseason game, they looked in tune and ready to go. And like I said, respect-wise, they're gonna have a pretty strong team across the board. You can't write them off. I don't think Pickett, has like this big arm thing, but with the right system and a strong running game, they're playoff contenders, absolutely. Ooh, Samuel coming off the board to Cahill. A lot of fan favorites here in the channel. Kiriko dripping. I want to look at that name harder. Ooh, Miles Sanders, the former Eagles running back that signed with Carolina in the free agency. Oh, Joe Burrow coming off to my boy Twat Waffles. Who's my boy Tyler from South Carolina. I want to look at your team, Peo. Wish I could actually look at your team. Okay, cool. I can. So Peo, you got Eckler, Henry, Hawkinson, Herbert. See, this is what I need to be looking at. What other people have and they're looking for. This is the clutchy clutch.
Your team is now on the clock.
Where's my boy? Yeah. I think this man's going to put up yardage, son. DJ Moore, the former Terrapin, now playing, drafted by Carolina, now playing with the Chicago Bears. Again, looked really good in preseason. Very excited to see him. So let's see. So we've got our wide receivers done now. At least starters. We need depth. I'm excited to see the runs that are about to start. Smash that like button. Bryant Colt dropping in. Oh, and let me throw some shout outs real quick. I don't think I have many people viewing or watching tonight, but it always helps. Definitely check out Payo Time, Canadian Rams fans, and Bryant Colt, as well as Chimera. Chimera will be doing some streaming later on this year. Bryant Culp is one of our 49er contributors, and I shouldn't say contributors, small content creators, collaborators. And Payo Time, I haven't collaborated with him yet, but great dude, and he's got a really good channel. So definitely drop in and check out all his content, or all their content. Sorry. All right, we're almost back up here on our pick. Justin Fields came off the board. Man. For those that aren't aware, Madison, the running back of the Minnesota Vikings, was one of my picks. I literally was getting ready to take him. I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted him. Let's talk about some of these picks, though. Jonathan Taylor just got taken by Payo Time? Payo, can we talk about that? Yo. Payo.
Your team is now
Taylor?
on the clock.
All right, hold on. I gotta get back to my guys. All right. We need a running back here. Players. This is tough. think they're going to lean on Dameon Pierce here. I'm going to take my boy Dameon Pierce, former Florida running back, now playing for, of course, the Houston Texans. Only reason I really didn't want to take him earlier is because I know he opens up week 1 against Baltimore. And so that's either going to be no yards or he's going to have a big game. You know, our run defense has been a little sus lately. Let me see here. So we're going back to this other chat here. He said we gonna collab on the Rams and Hey, my guy, you know what's up. It's a high risk, high reward pick. You're absolutely right, especially if he gets dealt to a contender team before the trade deadline. He could be a huge pick late for you. That's some truth, Payo. And if he plays after week 4, oh yeah, there you go, traded up. Yep, absolutely. Yep. All right, let's take a look here. Who's come off the board? So running back, 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 running back. Oh no, I'm sorry. Quarterback, wide receiver, running back, running back, running back, quarterback, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. So definitely more wide receivers coming off the board after I took my pick. Man, and Revenite Chimera took Hall, who was something that I was thinking hard about right after Pierce. I was basically flip-flopping between Hall and Pierce. But Aaron Rodgers kind of likes to air it out a little bit. So I think we'll see that happen, hopefully. Tua Tagovailoa coming off the board. Peo says, history favors the bold. You're not wrong. Honestly, Peo, I made a lot of money when I was younger playing in money fantasy football leagues. Because I've paid so much attention to the draft, I knew a lot of the deeper picks. And of course, I took a lot of players. We used to play in these 12-man, have to show up basically for the draft, live draft style, and if you couldn't show up live, you had to like call in. And like, I remember I was stressed one year calling in, I was like, all right, who got taken in the last, picks? And they'd run me off fucking names, and I'm just sitting there just checking names off my list. And I'm like, okay, I need to address this. Is such and such on the board? No? Okay. And just sitting there. It was so intense. And I actually had a great year that year. I miss it, honestly. I got this league together a little late this year. I would love to have one next year where, you do the intro kind of stuff. Got a one for you. This could be a life-changing moment for this team right here. That's Peo taking his boy, Jonathan Taylor. That's what the draft's all about. Ooh, DeAndre Swift coming off the board for Team Jones. Oh, Cahill taking my boy J.K. Dobbins. DeAndre Hopkins. Now, can we talk about Terry McLaurin of the Washington Commanders and how dirty his head coach and Bellamy did him? He should have been off the field way before he got hurt in that game, final preseason game. That was tragic to watch. Who is the team of destiny? Who shall come ahead? Stay tuned to find out on another episode of Fantasy Football with D-Rave. Kirko dripping on the clock right now. Ooh, Mike Williams of the Chargers coming off the board. All right, so what do I need to address here? I think I'm just taking overall.
Your team is now on the clock.
We're definitely looking. My one out of our bag here. Ooh. I might be reaching here, guys. And might be a little biased. But I got a feeling. Man, it's too early to pull that trigger. Oh. Oh. And again, is it too early to pull that trigger? Oh my god. That's too early. It's too early, man. I'm running out of time. I'm stressing. I'm stressing. Stressing. I took the wrong guy. I knew I should have taken him. I wanted to take my shots. I should have followed Peo's advice and just been bold. But I'm taking a safer pick. And I think I'm about to start swinging for the fences, guys. Peo, I flexed so hard back and forth on that, to be honest with you. But I think he's gonna be a solid guy. I think he's a safe pick for me. I think he's gonna contribute at least 1 to 2 touchdowns per week. I know, Chimera, it's getting rough. Can you imagine? I last minute I was getting a lot of people that wanted to join that this could have been a 12-man league. And man, this would have been a hard one to pick in a 12-man league. All right. All right, I got to start looking for my sneak picks here. At each position here. Ooh, there's my boy. Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see him succeed. That's 2 backup picks. Who else we got here? Who else we got? Ooh, okay. I like it. Oh, why are all my guys that I did on my draft special like showing up here on this fantasy football board to be low key with you right now? 100%. A lot of my guys that I highlighted on my draft special where we talked guys that were going to be non-first round picks are showing up right now.
Your team is now on the clock.
All right, where's my boy I think I'm really about to take? All right, I'm swinging for the fences here, ladies and gentlemen. Half the people probably don't even know who this player is. Evan Hull, running back, Northwestern University. Rookie. So after Jonathan Taylor being placed on the PUP list, not able to return till week 4, the 2 running backs in the backfield are Zach Moss and Evan Hull, if I'm not mistaken. With that being said, I've did coverage on Evan Hull. And I'm telling you, I like the kid. I like the kid a lot. And like I said, I know I'm swinging, bro. I'm swinging. You're lucky I didn't take Joe's boy, Zach Carbonet, the running back out of UCLA, rookie for Seattle. I think he is going to be a swing guy. And I think whenever Walker goes down potentially with injury, I think he's going to step in and light up the NFL. I think when you watch Zach Charbonnet, I want you to think of Darren Sproles slightly. I'm probably a little bigger, if I'm not mistaken, but just shifty. Another name I'm going to throw out here is Tank Bigsby, who's lit up training camp practices, and another guy I covered in my draft special. He's going to be the backup to Etienne in Jacksonville, so I'm keeping a hard eye on him right now. Another guy, Tyjae Spears, the backup running back that was added to Tennessee. So if anything happens to Derrick Henry, he's one of my backup guys. Got a few more guys on my backup list, but those are my later picks now. I'm back pocketing, kind of. Thought Jackson was. We'll find out, right? Let's check Colts. Deion Jackson. I got faith, man. I know, big swing. I'm taking faith in my guy. Big swing. Big swing. I think the entire draft is starting to have a little bit of issues now. Let me tell you this too, Pay. I think Evan Hole will probably take all the goal line carries. Let me double check something here. Is it bad form for me to take Jackson now? No, honestly, I'd laugh. Let's call it a friendly bet. To be honest, we'll play that out at the end of the season. Peo, we can have a little fun little joke about it. Let's see. Want to check his profile again? Yep, 5'11", 216. Let's do a little comparison since we got a little time, I think, for our pick. I mean, both about the same size. Third season for Deion Jackson. Evan Hole in his rookie season. Deion Jackson got the lead in average yards per carry. I mean, let's see. All right, who we got taken off the board here? Deion Swift. Oh, wait, no, just gotta go back to all players. Michael Thomas, Jamal Williams, Mike Evans, Alvin Kamara, Montgomery, Cook. Okay. Running backs still look like they're leading the way here. See, this is one of those ones where sometimes what I like to do is, I might do this because everyone's going running back. I don't know. Let me check my board here. How's everyone doing on wide receivers? Wide. Double wide. Wide. Past the first two. We got 34 wide receivers taken so far compared to 33 running backs. So a pretty even split. But if we look at running backs taken off the board, leaning hard later, wide receivers going earlier. So technically, we might be able to grab more wide receivers off the board.
Your team is now on the clock.
Man, I'm really thinking about swinging on some of these guys. my boy Zay. I'm pairing Lamar and Zay for the season. It might be a little controversial, but we'll see. The reason I took Lamar Jackson is because I have faith in the MVP season and basically what Todd Monken is going to do with that offense. There's been so many fantasy football articles recently, guys, if anyone's been reading up, where, they talk about that, basically, that sometimes one of the biggest changes that we can see in fantasy football statistics is a change of offense coordinator. Case in point, check Detroit Lions last year. Waiver wire was going nuts on them guys. Peo, I'm not gonna lie, I was leaning towards your boy Quentin Johnson with that pick. I still kind of am leaning hard. As someone who covered him in the draft, I really did like the guy. Of course, you got the pick right before me, so I guess we'll see about that. Oh, thanks for the sub, Peo. If you subscribed and it didn't ping me, I'm sorry. I've been having issues with my alert and event boxes through Streamlabs, so boo on them. Robinson of the... Oh, Peo! Peo, we gonna throw hands. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Totally mixed that up. I am excited about your Rams though. I think y'all had a great draft. Avila with your first second round pick. Y'all had a lot of honestly pretty good picks. A few I'm not familiar with, but bro, we gonna fight Peo though, taking my boy Justin Tucker. Like legit, we gonna have to scrap now. The legend number 9 himself. Like, ooh, Sky Moore coming off. Greatest show on paper. That's honestly a good pick. Freiermuth coming off the board. Ooh, do I need to address my tight end room again? I might need to address tight end room again real quick. I knew someone was gonna steal Justin Tucker from me. I was halfway scared about Lamar Jackson. That's why I started throwing smoke screens. Me taking Lamar Jackson that early in my fantasy football draft is 100% my faith and stake in what I think they will perform and do this year.
Your team is now on the clock.
Oh, this is another really tough one where I'm like, where do I go? Which direction? Oh, okay. I've got picks there. I can wait on that pick. I see who I want there. Swinging again here, guys. Big swing. I'm taking George Pickens. I'm showing some respect to this, what I've seen from the Steelers and what I've heard from the Steelers, to be honest with you. Yeah, Peo, that 14 picks in the draft for your Rams was absolutely crazy. I'd have to go look at your entire draft board again, but most of this entire book is just my draft notes and draft observations, so... Dalton Kincaid comes off the board as well as Dalvin Cook. All right, so got 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers. think I'm finally going to address my backup tight end. There's a couple different ways this could go. Man, that's going to be tough. And I talked about that in one of my streams. I basically talked about how I felt like, how they were going to be a young team. They're going to have to take their lumps, but they're going to grow a lot this season. And this next pick, honestly, is about to get really hard. I'm not even going to lie here. Ooh, Odell Beckham comes off the board. Jackson Smith and Jiba coming off the board. Isn't he going to miss a little bit of time? He fractured his wrist. I guess they're taking that for the late game. Ooh, Dalton Schultz coming off the board. Team Jones. Guy I was kind of eyeing a little bit. Peo gave me a question. What made you want to start NFL content streaming or creating? So, there's a few reasons. So, there's a reason why I started streaming in the first place, and it wasn't originally NFL content. It was gaming content. And then there's a reason why, of course, we do NFL content. So I'll start with that. So the reason we cover the NFL content in the Baltimore Ravens mostly is because I spent years, playing in money leagues, talking with my friends. I used to be that guy that could talk any guy out of a room. People be like, "Oh yeah, my team's this," and not even my team. And eventually, they're just looking at me like, "I wish this guy would shut the heck up." Um, and I've talked about this multiple times on my stream a little bit, where back in 2008 I was in Disneyland on my grad night trip, graduating high school, and
Your team is now on the clock.
hold on, we got to take this pick real quick here. We're on the clock. I think we're gonna address our backup tight end position here. Question is, I got two guys I'm eyeing fucking hard. I think we're gonna go take the Tennessee kid. But so I started covering Baltimore Ravens content because one, I was looking for more people that liked football as much as me that wanted to cover it. Two, I've always wanted to work for the Baltimore Ravens. I love the NFL draft. We covered it heavy this past year. I'm planning to go even harder next year. I might be live from the draft next year is the goal. But and I was just so sick of getting it right on so many rookies, especially whenever I was watching the draft and watching them come into the NFL on not just the Ravens, but other teams as well. Um, that I was always like, you know what? If I ever wanted to work for the Ravens, etc., it'd be a good way to get a start, putting it all essentially on record, all on tape. And if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I enjoy it. I enjoy watching football. I enjoy talking football. I wish I could coach. I wish I could scout. And I used to play a good bit myself. I grew up, like I said, with Hunter Renfro, so which you should know that name pretty well. And the reason we're about to be back on the clock here. Yeah, Peo. Honestly, your channel is one of those ones I'm always like peeking at. I'm like, okay, how can I improve my channel? How can this guy's obviously doing
Your
something
team
right.
is now on the clock.
All right. Let's see here. This is a tough one now. I'm going to swing on another one of my draft guys. I know he's the backup to Etienne mostly, but that's going to be a swing pick, but I'm taking faith in some of the rookies I covered. He definitely does have a little bit of fumble issue we got to take care of, but Heard Payo. Appreciate anything you could tell me, honestly. I'll be looking out for that. Honestly, it's been a rough day today. So I got up earlier today. I had to do a bunch of work. I had a business law test earlier, which I think I aced my business law test. I've actually got a study as soon as this live draft ends. I've got a 7:30 a.m. calculus test tomorrow. Which I'm decently prepared for, but I'm going to run through my study guide one more time because I'm trying to keep these grades up. And then tomorrow, when I finish that, I come home, probably take a quick nap. Then I head to accounting class, and then I have a bunch of accounting homework I need to catch up on because I spent too much time playing games with the girlfriend this weekend. But for anyone and everyone that's dropped in and been hanging out with us tonight, we greatly appreciate it. It's been fun, honestly. Ooh, Deshaun Watson coming off the board. Kirko dripping. I got no faith in Deshaun. Like, I used to love Deshaun Watson. Like, I covered him heavily when he came out of the draft. The backup quarterbacks are starting to come off the board, and I'm looking for mine, I think, too, here. Yeah, we got 3 picks, looks like, or 3 more rounds coming up after Cahill and Team Jones. So we got round 13 and 14. Oof, it's kicker and defense time, basically. Yeah, Chimera says D-Watt's going to suck this year. Cleveland put together such a great team to not really put the quarterback there, to be honest with you. Like I said, I love Deshaun Watson. I covered him heavily. I don't know if he did all that stuff he did. If he did, he's a horrible fucking human being. But, who knows? So we need. All right, these last ones are locks, basically. Quarterback, defense, and kicker. Not in any specific order. Basically, gonna have to take a look and see who do we have look around still. We got to look at when is Baltimore's bye week. We got to double check that. 13, that's what I thought. All right. So as long as the quarterback bye week is not 13. So just the Raiders, it looks like, have the same bye week. Cool. All right. So we got good picks. Who do they play week 13?
Your team is now on the clock.
Okay. About them? Orleans. How about my boy Sam Howell, week 13? Miami? That's going to be tough. Pickett. Ooh. Pickett playing against Arizona? Man, I don't want to take another Steelers player. Oh, God. This is tough. I don't really want it. All right, let's take a look at my boy Jordan Love. Oh, no, he's playing KC. That ain't happening. Derek Carr, maybe? Detroit? That might be a shootout. Do I look at kickers? We got to take my boy Evan McPherson. I'm going kicker first. There's just no way he's going to be there, honestly, on my next pick, so we got to go that. I think I'll find my backup quarterback last. It seems like a lot of people already snatched theirs. Let's go check the boards. So let's take a look. We're looking for QBs. Control find, QB. They've got one QB, two. Okay, most teams already have their backup QB, so that's going to be the least desired position. So we're definitely headed for our defensive pick next. Got the Commanders for the Cards week 1. Ooh. Gosh. Defense is the real question. Who's going to get turnovers that's unexpected? Who's had the biggest change in their defensive scheme? See, honestly, I hate to say this, the Steelers are a pretty good bet. Hold on, this is where we're going to go by strength of schedule.
Your team is now on the clock.
Please tell me my team's there. Oh, you know we taking that pick, baby. Ravens defense coming off the board to me. Payo took Jackson from the Colts. The bet is on with Payo. He took Jackson in the 14th while I took... Let's find it officially. Where is it? Pierce, Harris. Why do I not see the pick? Bryce Hole. Where's Evan Hole? I don't even see the pick. What the heck's going on here? Go back and find it this way. So I took Evan Hole in the 8th, while you took Jackson in the 14th, technically. All right, with the last pick, ladies and gentlemen, I know for me, there's only one position I'm going, and that's for my backup quarterback. So we've got to decide a little bit here. Who's the best matchup? I just wanted my Ravens D to be 100% honest with you. To keep it real, I just didn't want to say it on stream and someone take them right before I got them, potentially. But, let me see. Week 13. So they play Miami. I don't know how well that's going to go. Derek Carr has got Detroit week 13. That could be a good matchup. That's right. Jordan Love's got KC. That's a big no. Week 13, New Orleans. Or, oh my God, I'm about to be bold. I know I'm looking over these picks again, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna go with a stratagem here, and I think I'm going with no backup quarterback. I'll find someone on waiver wire. To waste an entire draft slot for potentially a 1-week matchup, I don't know if I can agree with that. Like, statistically speaking. Now, God forbid, Mar gets injured. I can move around my roster, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, like I'm seeing some potential.
Your team is now on the clock.
Man, there's some big there are some really big potentials here. Okay. So we're going to discuss this real quick. So the ones I'm looking at here, we've got Jalen Hyatt, who I think is going to be the number one target over there in New York, because they just don't have anything else. We're staring also at Mingo down there in Carolina. Running backs, I like Tajay potential if Derrick Henry gets hurt. Deuce Vaughn potential as well. Is this Quentin Johnson or is this Jalen Hyatt? The Chargers don't have much. Swinging for the fences on Jalen Hyatt. I ain't got faith in Slayton, man. I really don't. I know he's there, but I just don't have faith in it. And I think he's gonna have some home run hitting balls potentially, and a lot of potential for yard after catch. As for finding my defense and quarterback, I think I'm just gonna kind of play it out. Case in point, if the Evan Hull pick ends up looking complete bustish early, I can always swap him out for a quarterback early before there's any potential for someone else to get him. And same thing with our defense. Dude, I'll be honest with you, if my defense is underperforming and only averaging like a few points per game, and I sometimes will not even run them because it's not even worth dropping them and dropping one of my other higher potential players that I'm already doing matchup, like week-to-week matchup basis is on.
Thanks for attending the NFL Draft. Best of luck this season.
Thanks for attending the NFL Draft. Best of luck this season. Man, so Peo, I was noting that Taysom Hill was listed as a tight end technically this season as like 220 pounds. And I seriously thought about it as a good flex option. So I really like the pick. I think being able to flex him in as a tight end potentially, he has a high upside. I like it. right, with that, let's look at the official team. Run it down. So the ending roster for my 2023 fantasy football team. At quarterback, we have Lamar Jackson. There is no backup, ladies and gentlemen. That is our only quarterback on the roster. At running back, we have Najee Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Dameon Pierce of the Houston Texans, Tanks Bigsby, and Evan Hull. Backup options in Indianapolis who I think are going to develop potentially into starters, especially if in Jacksonville if there's an injury. Zay Flowers, joystick at wide receiver. Our other round out our wide receiver room, Jalen Hyatt, George Pickens, DJ Moore, and Garrett Wilson. We went a little heavy on wide receiver. And we went really young. I mean, if you look at my wide receiver room, Garrett Wilson, second year, I believe. Zay Flowers, rookie. Jalen Hyatt, rookie. George Pickens, second year. And DJ Moore, fifth year, I want to say, technically. Oh, I forgot running back room. We have Isaiah Pacheco of the Kansas City Chiefs. Thanks for dropping in, Peo. I really appreciate it. And yeah, shoot me those messages on Twitter. For anyone that doesn't know, Darwin's Raven 20 on Twitter should be the same picture as we have here on the YouTube stream. You can always find me on there. To our tight end room, we've got Travis Kelce and a little bit of. He's been a sleeper pick in a lot of fantasy football drafts. Chigozium Okonkwo. I'm probably mispronounced that horribly, and I apologize, sir, for it. We showed a lot of respect to our division opponents. We got 2 Steeler players and, of course, 1 Bengals player. Man, I'm excited about my roster. I know everyone's going to be excited about theirs, but you know. So let's take a look who we got. Oh, I'm taking Chimera week 1. Let's go. We're going to eat like the old Zeke. Chimera, you best bring it, son. Who's the project? Hold on, we gotta actually go do our math. We gotta mess with our lineup real quick. Hold up. So okay. So obviously, gotta move my tight end. I think Zay's gonna come and ball out week 1. See, I think what I did here is I got some really good high upside young wide receivers like George Pickens and Jalen Hyatt. If they take over, they could be number 1 kind of guys. Man, I'm loving this lineup. I ain't gonna lie. DJ Moore got Green Bay week 1. That's gonna be a fire game. I ain't gonna lie, Najee Harris against San Fran, but they have had, I think, some run issues, so that might be a great pick for week 1. And see, Evan Hull and where's he at? Is it like, I feel like it's like clipping one of my players. Yeah, Tank Bigsby's like clipping out. But Tank and Evan Hull, I might get dropped, honestly. We never know. It's gonna be a fun one, to be honest with you. Let's see. I know, Chimera, I'm looking at your team right now. I'm heading to the game center. I just set my lineup. Oh, we got to submit my changes here. All right, so we already got our week 1 lineup. Because remember, everyone, game 1 is tomorrow night. We have Thursday night football. Or, I'm sorry, not tomorrow night. Thursday night. My apologies. A little tired here. All right, I got it up on the screen here for you, Chimera. We got the matchup week 1 against Chimera. Chimera's projected to beat me by 100 and, or I'm sorry, not 100. Projected to beat me by 18 points, essentially. To be precise, 18.31 points. I don't know. I think I got y'all's number. So I'm going to tell you right now, here's why I think I got your number, Chimera. I'm going to break this down. So if you got to put my boy, Lamar Jackson, against the depleted Houston Texans. No, don't get me wrong. I love what the Houston Texans did in their draft. But Baltimore has a history of coming out and balling out like the first week or two usually. Now, with Todd Monken's offense, we might have tempered expectations. But like I said, I've got a lot of faith in my Ravens. So I think I'm going to outscore you more than 2 points right there because Lamar Jackson is projected in that matchup over Trevor Lawrence to only beat him by approximately 2 points. I think I'm going to see a bigger spread there. Najee Harris going with the San Francisco 49ers. A little uncertainty right now in San Francisco with the D-line, what's going on there. From my understanding, I think the 49ers have had a little bit of trouble with their run defense. And if there's no Bosa, Najee Harris might come out super strong. So we've got Najee Harris matched up against Saquon Barkley. Saquon coming out against Dallas week 1. Now, that's one I'm actually going to give you. I think Saquon might push his spread higher there. Saquon is projected 16 points, so 3 points higher than Najee Harris. However, with Dallas having some issues with their run defense going back to last season, so much so, Dallas had such a gaping hole in their run defense last season. They tried to make moves at the trade deadline last season. They even reached super hard. I mean, like, this was one of the, I feel like, the biggest reaches of the draft. And they took the defensive tackle. Oh my God, I had his name until I started like talking about the reach. Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle out of Michigan, was Dallas Cowboys' first round pick this year. Which, from my understanding, he has struggled in camp. So Barkley probably going to run away a little bit on that. So our third matchup, we got running backs, Isaiah Pacheco versus Breece Hall of the New York Jets. So again, we're looking up at matchups here. Pacheco's taking on Detroit. Without Travis Kelce in the lineup, I expect Detroit or Kansas City opening up to lean heavier on the run game. So I think we're going to see a lot heavier load out of him. So 12.53, I'd bump that up a little bit, not as higher spreads as some of the other ones. On the opposite side, your Jets are taking on the Buffalo Bills. I think that game, Chimera, Chimera, if you're still there, I want you to look at what day that game's going to happen, by the way. Monday, 8:15. That's a primetime game. Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers. The young gun versus the old blood. You know what I'm saying? I think that game's going to be a shootout. And with that being said, I don't know how many carries the running backs are going to get. Now, of course, I feel like the projected numbers kind of show that. He's only projected 9.74. So where are you truly getting this jump up on me? It's at the wide receiver position. Our number one matchup here, basically, I've got DJ Moore matched up against CD Lamb. Chicago taking on Green Bay. I think we're gonna see Chicago come out and open up with a win against Green Bay. I'm sorry to my Green Bay fans, but that's just probably how it's gonna go down. If I can zoom in here. There we go. Much better. So, of course, like I said, we're looking at the matchup right now of DJ Moore versus CD Lamb. You're projected a 9-point spread on that. I think my boy DJ Moore is going off for 2 touchdowns in this game against Green Bay. That's going to be my bold prediction right now. Let me write it down. DJ Moore, 2 TDs, calling it in the opener against Green Bay. Of course, CD Lamb opening against New York. New York, you never know what you're going to get from that team, to be honest with you. And that's the Giants, New York. The second wide receiver matchup, I've got Garrett Wilson in that what I'm thinking is going to be like I said, a shootout style game of the Jets versus Buffalo in primetime Monday night to open up the season. With that, I'm expecting a 100-yard game from Garrett Wilson. That game is what I'm hoping for. So 100 yards plus a touchdown would equal 16 points. Projected at 12.94. I think I'm going to push the spread higher on that. You're got Devonta Smith against the New England Patriots. Sunday 4 o'clock game. Historically, New England always has a pretty decent defense. 14 points. I think Devonta Smith actually going to finish lower than that. But we'll see about that. I mean, tight end, I can't argue with you, Chimera. I've got the Tennessee Titans, Okonkwo versus Mark Andrews of Baltimore. Now, Mark, though, has had a little bit of an injury problem, but recently, but he should be fine, I'm pretty sure, for week 1. It'd be pretty funny, though, if he missed it. Let's see. So in the flex, I've got my boy Zay Flowers, only projected 8.92 points in his rookie debut. Ooh, I ain't doing my boy Zay right. But it's one of those ones, I mean, man, I might actually take George Pickens on him first. George Pickens might have a big day out there in San Francisco, potentially. That's going to be tough. Very freaking tough. Like, kicker. Okay, you got Buffalo's kicker. That makes sense. Totally makes sense. And 49ers defense. I'm expecting more than 6 points from the Ravens defense. I think we're going to get some good interceptions off CJ Stroud. I think we're going to get a few sacks as well. He might light us up a little bit running. Let me check. Let's check your depth. Let's see what you got in the depth. Okay, you went heavy on your Buffalo. My God, did you go heavy on your Buffalo backups? You are going to have issues when the bye week comes if you got to lean on some of those guys. Oh, what bye week does Buffalo have? Hey, Steve-O. Yeah, I had to pick my boy Pickens, man. Like, I think from what I've seen from training camp, what I've read from training camp reports I think him and Deontay are going to be a thing, and Pickens just has that size, bro, where he can go up and get that ball. And that's what I'm saying. If Bosa doesn't play, that's why also, where is it? I've got Najee Harris to show respect to the Steelers as well, Steve-O. If Bosa doesn't play, Harrison Pickens might have a pretty good night. And that's what we're kind of talking about now a little bit, is, really focusing, like I said, on these matchups. Because, like I think, Pacheco versus Detroit with Travis Kelce being out potentially the first week or two, I think Pacheco is going to see a higher load, especially in the first week or two. Where we talked about right here with Hall of the Jets against Buffalo in primetime Monday night, I think that's going to be a shootout. And I don't think the running backs are going to touch the ball a lot. Of course, I love Dameon Pierce. We're going to probably lean on Dameon Pierce pretty heavy over Pacheco. Moving forward in the season. But week 1 against Baltimore, if Baltimore gets ahead, they're going to have to throw the ball more. And historically, Baltimore's pretty good against the run. So that's why week 1, we're going with Pacheco, but probably moving forward, I feel like Dameon Pierce is going to be our guy. We took big swings on Evan Hull and Tank Bigsby. If Etienne gets hurt, I'm telling you, Bigsby was one of those guys I was pounding the table for when we did our draft coverage. And I think the potential that if Etienne gets hurt, that he could be a big name. And like I said, I took big swings on some of these guys. Jalen Hyatt, Bigsby, and Hull. But, you know, I'm no stranger to the waiver wire. I've won leagues by having to do situational matchups and pick week by week. And I feel pretty good. I think some of my guys could be potential trade targets as well. Case in point, I'm gonna looking at Pickens and Zay Flowers if I'm looking for trade targets. You know, if Okongwu is destroying it and a true number one tight end and Kelsey's back full strength killing it, I'm not gonna lie, I'd dangle him out there for a backup tight end for looking for the bye matchup essentially. And, maybe something else I'm looking for. Of course, we could always partner, one of these other guys here with that trade. I'm a big trade guy. Yeah, got to bench. The hyperextended knee is just one of those ones. I would not even play him, to be honest with you. I know they've MRI'd his knee. I know it's probably like a tiny, insignificant injury. Okay, yeah, we won't know till the MRI. It's one of those ones. We'll see. And worst case, I believe, in the worst extent of the injury, like let's say it was way worse than they expected and he needed surgery. From my understanding of an overextended knee is essentially a small tear in either, I think, LCL or PCL. With that being said, best recovery window is 2 weeks. Small non-invasive surgery with one of the worst tears would be approximately 6 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Which, if he comes back after 6 weeks, so probably like later in the season, he's going to come back probably very energetic and happy and excited and making big plays with a lot of energy because he hasn't had the full season. Yo, Joe, what up, man? How was your draft go? Let's take a look at Joe's team. And Chimera, good night. Thanks for coming in for the draft. Thanks for coming in for the stream, my guy. I appreciate it. I know, Chimera, I've got a 7:30 a.m. calculus exam that I still have to study for. I just finished my business law exam before I came home and started the live draft, so I've got to get off here pretty soon too. But I'm pretty freaking excited about let's go take a look at Joe's team real quick. Steve-O says Watson, Higgins, Hopkins, Ayuk, Thomas Henry, Rice, my starters PPR. Hey, that's pretty good though. Like, let's take a look at Joe's team. Joe, have you set your starting lineup yet? Let's see, does he have backup quarterback? Ooh, okay, Joe. You took one of the guys I was very excited about. Thank you, Chimera. I think I'm going to do pretty decently, but, I'm going to be on a lack of sleep already. And you never know, so I appreciate it. But Joe got one of the guys I was heavily considering. Anthony Richardson, quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, was one of the guys I was heavily considering using one of my last and final picks for my backup quarterback. However, I decided to go against it at the very last minute and just take extra depth in positions. So, okay, Kirk Cousins going to be your starter. Okay. Oh, you're the guy that took Bijan. Fuck you, Joe. Excuse my language. I'm happy for you, though. I kind of wanted Bijan. I was leaning heavy towards him. Steve-O, you've got Richardson too. I think he's got such upside potential. He might light it up a little bit just with running yards. You know what I mean? So especially as a 1 week matchup, he could really be the guy. Okay, Chris Olave. Man, why do you seem like you have quite a few of the players that I wanted, Joe? Joe, why do you have a lot of the players that I was eyeballing so freaking hard? I'm mad at you, Joe. I'm mad at you. Not really. But to be specific, I was eyeing Bijan Robinson super hard. I was eyeing Chris Olave super hard. I was eyeing Brandon Cooks super hard. I was eyeing Madison super hard. White, Richardson, the other ass. Like, bro, your team is like majority of the people that I was like torn on in half my picks. Oh, Joe got a good. You got a good team, Joe. You got a good team. Joe is predicted to win his matchup 118-34 to 116-60. And he's got the advantage in bench points too. So all around, he's going up against Kirko Drippin in the first round. Kirko might have to do some changes here. Let's see. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even being biased here because Joe's my boy. I don't think there's a chance in heck Kirko can pull this for game one matchup off against Joe. That's a in my book a week one win for Joe. Let's run down these game centers. Let's try to predict this. So of course I'm pulling myself over Chimera week one, which is an upset win. I think Joe's gonna beat Kurt, but that's predicted. Let's see. We're gonna go to Peo, even though I don't know if Peo's still here, but we're gonna look at Peo's next. So Peo is predicted to lose. Ooh. Oh, okay, but he's got way more points on his bench. So probably with a corrected, yeah, because he's got Jonathan Taylor. So with corrected, Peo is predicted to win. That's including bench points essentially, because the spread's 5 to 6 points, but the bench spread's over 20. So let's see here though. Okay, Peo, I see you. Oh, we got Blurpy in the chat. Steve said I wanted Olave, but if Thomas is still him, I'll take it, dude. I think Olave is going to light it up. I think Thomas is going to run underneath a lot, and I think Olave is going to get some of those deeper balls from Derek Carr. I think the quarterback change is going to make Olave a high option in fantasy football. But Blurpy says 2 flex PPR 10-man leagues. QB, T-Law, and Rogers. Okay, I see you. Etienne, Connor, White, Dylan, Perrine. Okay. Wide receiver room, Diggs, Wilson, Devo, Watson. Ooh, man, you got a strong wide receiver room, I'd say. Tight end, Higsby, Ravens defense. What you think? Your quarterback room is super strong, of course, with Trevor Lawrence and Rodgers. Almost so that you probably don't even need both of them, but it's good to have both. Etienne, of course, is tabbed to have a really good season. However, I'm banking on his backup, Tanks Bigsby, if anything happens to him, and I actually drafted Tanks Bigsby on my team. Connor, Arizona's not going to have anything else other than Connor. So I like Connor, but at the same time, their teams are probably going to focus in on him. Rashid White, if I'm not mistaken, talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers White. I think he's actually going to have a pretty good season. I think just they've got good enough weapons at wide receiver that you can't just jump down, load the box. And I think just volume by carry. Dylan's going to get some good yards as well, good touchdowns. I like your running back room. I just feel like if your running back room, maybe just like mine, if there's one injury, you might end up in trouble. No backup tight end. I could feel that because you pushed your wide receiver room pretty hard, and I think any of those wide receivers could add value as much as any tight end could. You got my Ravens defense, Blurpy, so I love you right there for that. Myers, I'm trying to remember where the kicker Myers is from. Apologize for not remembering off the top of my head. Steve-O, man, I actually kind of wanted to do a 12-man team league. I was just scrambling all day today, last minute, to get everyone in here for this draft and this league. And I kind of talked about it a little earlier. I had a business law test earlier. I've still got to study for my calculus test, which is at 7:30 in the morning. So I've got a calculus test in 8.5 hours from right now. And that's not including sleep time, study time, breakfast, or anything else. So we're about to have a fun day tomorrow. We've got the calculus test. We've got a lot of accounting work to do. We've, of course, got accounting class. Oh, my God. I have a business meeting tomorrow. So your boy here is enrolled in a contest, essentially, an entrepreneurship contest. And I have one of my... Oh, my God. Which meeting do I even have tomorrow? Is it bowl? No, okay. So actually, my meeting tomorrow is I'm actually working on the process of becoming a licensed sports agent here in the state of Florida. You have to go through the Department of Professional Business and Professional Development, something like that. But you have to go through them, pay some fees, background checks, fingerprinting, all that good stuff. But after that, I'm looking to possibly open a NIL marketing and sports marketing agency, and also potentially a recruiting agency. Basically specializing in doing NIL deals, marketing, promoting, PR, as well as doing college recruiting, scouting camps, videos, and general recruitment efforts. And I am meeting tomorrow with the professor of my university, which is FGCU, the Cinderella team from the basketball tournament a few years ago, who's in charge essentially of NIL compliance. Basically, is one of the business ideas that I'm working on, so I'm very excited about that. Jason Meyer, Seattle kicker. Thank you, CarCast 49ers Talk, for correcting me on that. I like 12-man leagues, Steve-O, because of how thin the draft pool gets eventually. I think it's absolutely fun when there's not enough people. Well, I got CarCast in here. We got to go preview his game real quick. So CarCast is up against Cahill. So we got 49ers versus Seahawks week 1, I'm pretty sure here. Ooh, okay. CarCast, you took Geno Smith? Really? Respect to the Seattle. Oh, and he went the route like me. No backup quarterback, so you are confident in Geno or finding someone else. Man. That's bold, CarCast. That's bold. I like it, though, slightly, but it's bold. Okay, we got Connor, Jacobs, Diggs, Ridley. Oh, I've been raving on Ridley after watching some of his training camp footage. Dude, man, just looks ridiculous. Dare, Godwin, Gano, Patriots defense, Cooper, Myers, wide receiver for Vegas. And what's funny is Jacoby Myers is basically the same mold as Hunter Renfrow, so it never made sense, kind of, a little bit. Okay, I see you. So, CarCast 49ers Talk projected to win 120. No, I'm sorry, to lose 123-23 to over Cahill 125-81. However, CarCast is leading in the bench points. So, where does he make the move, though? Because he's got wide receivers and running backs. I'm probably going to be coming to you, CarCast, for some trades, honestly. Probably potentially in the season. 13, 11. Man, CarCast got such a strong projected total that even though his bench points are higher, he's got really no one to sub out. Ooh. K Hill taking one of the sleeper picks too at tight end Dulcich of Denver. Now I got no faith in Denver, honestly, but that's like I don't think Jerry Judy's putting up 15.62. I don't think Cooper Kupp's gonna put up 18.28 against Seattle. I think Carcast, if you're still there, I think you are gonna blow Cahill out of the water in this first game. Connor should be good for at least a touchdown, and what's that? 9 points. So they're projecting approximately not even 90 yards because PPR, so that's probably on point. Josh Jacobs, oh yeah, that's on point. Diggs, like we're calling that's going to be a shootout, so Diggs might even hit higher. Ridley's going to tear the Colts up, so that's solid. Godare against New England. He might bust in that game and not really get but, we'll see about that. Godwin against Minnesota, that's pretty solid. I think he might get a little less, but I actually think Gano is going to get more points against the Giants-Dallas game, so good luck to you on that. Let's take a look across the aisle here at Cahill. Christian McCaffrey. I'm actually going to limit that. I think Christian McCaffrey will score less points against this Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're going to come out there and play fire. And it's at Pittsburgh, so having to travel week 1 and play at Heinz Field. JK on point. Cooper Kupp, like I said, I don't think he's going to play that well. I don't think Judy's going to play that well. Like, Blurpy, I usually stream defense week to week. Ravens and Commanders got good matchups week 1, but couldn't pick Commanders since I'm starting Connor. I totally feel that, Blurpy. I didn't take a backup defense either. I didn't take backup quarterback or backup defense because I felt pretty strongly about both my choices, and I felt that if one of my other players was seriously underperforming, that they could become trade bait potentially, or just waiver wire where I could let them go. Kyle Campfield dropping in. What up? 12-man PPR, 7th pick. 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 3 flexes. Okay. QB, Fields. Okay, and I think Fields is going to light it up this year, and they've got a really easy schedule. Running back, Bijan Robinson. Okay. I love Bijan. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, my boy who I've got on my team, who I think is going to again light up. Okay, Kmet, solid tight end. Now here's where you're going to make your money in a 3 flex league, though. So we got Calvin Ridley, Mike Williams, Brandon Ayuk, Pacheco, Cook, Juju, and Elijah Moore. How'd I do? How'd I do? Who do I start? That's really tough. All right, so we're looking at the 3 flex. 3 flex here. So we just talked a little bit about Calvin Ridley having the matchup against Indianapolis. I think Calvin Ridley is going to light it up week 1. So I would definitely have Ridley as starting right there. We talked a little bit about Pacheco earlier as well. So with Travis Kelce being potentially out week 1 and 2, Pacheco might have a really good edge in the first week or 2. So definitely up in my book. Let's try to look at some of these matchups. Let's see who else you got, since you're asking about starters. Let's see if I can look at players here. So we're going to look at your wide receivers first. Of course, let's see. I don't think either of your guys are here. Ayuk, Juju, Elijah Moore. That's going to be tough. Let me look at the matchups. I'm so sorry I have taken a second to find them here. Man, how did I forget about Chase Claypool? Where did he get taken? Definitely would have taken Chase Claypool. I guess we're going to just have to search this. Search yellow can. I'm so stupid. My apologies. That's Mike Williams. Ooh, Las Vegas week 1. I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in the Raiders. So, of course, we got to look. Ayuk, if I remember right, is playing Steelers. James Cook. Juju. Who's Juju playing against? Miami. Juju could have it going. So again, I like the Pacheco matchup. Just again, like I said, Lions, and with Travis Kelce being out potentially week 1 and 2, which I think he will be, I would lean kind of towards Pacheco. But it could be a shootout game, which if it becomes a shootout, Pacheco's value drops significantly. Man. Miami's had some injuries at corner, so Mike Williams' stock is there, but it's just how many targets is someone like Quentin Johnson going to take from him potentially? Yeah, Juju I don't have a lot of faith in, and you don't know what you're getting out of the Patriots yet. You can expect the Patriots always to go a little heavier in the run game, so definitely not him. Elijah Moore is starting for the Jets, if I remember correctly, which I'm calling a shootout game there, but there's a lot of heads in that wide receiver room, and Aaron Rodgers is not scared to move it around a little bit other than his number 1. Oh, Bills are, man, that's, oh my God, that's so tough. Because it's definitely Ridley. Man. So I'm gonna double back down on Pacheco and Ridley are gonna be my first 2. Your third is where I am struggling. Ayuk's had so many good games. I'm just trying to think though. If Sam Darnold has to start, I don't have faith in that against the Steelers with TJ Watt bearing down on Sam Darnold. So actually I'm going to lean against Ayuk for until Brock Purdy comes back. I think that's the pick. Ridley, Williams, Pacheco. Like, I want to do Elijah Moore, but let's take a look at the Jets depth chart real quick again. I think Garrett Wilson's going to dominate. Wait, no. Where did he get traded to? Elijah Moore. Cleveland. Even less faith. Even less faith, yeah. I don't have faith. I got more faith in DTR, the backup quarterback for Cleveland, than I do Deshaun Watson, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think that's your picks. William, Pacheco, and Ridley. I mean, in a 12-man league, though, I like your picks. I We'll see where I think Juju and Elijah have to establish, um, you know, how they're actually going to be in those offenses. And James Cook, of course, for Buffalo. Wait, they're opening up against LA? Hold on. That changes everything if that's what. I'm so sorry if that's the case. I No, see that's the problem. So they're taking on the Jets week 1. God, that's so tough. Why did it say opponent at LA? Oh, okay, no, because I'm thinking Dallas. I'm so freaking stupid. I Okay, so that's a good hint for Elijah Moore. I actually had missed that. I don't know. Now that I'm like sitting here and I'm looking at that James Cook matchup too against LA, I kind of like James Cook actually over a few people potentially. So that's tough. Like I actually lean a little more towards maybe even potentially over Williams. But don't overlook James Cook. If he's playing against LA week 1, definitely worth an eye on. What's up, Corey Davis? Thanks for dropping in. How you been, my guy? Corey Davis, one of our 49ers guy, runs a 49ers channel. Definitely something to check out. Who says $500 buy-in, half PPR, just drafted tonight. What's your guys' thoughts? Saquon, CD, Cup, Andrews, McLaurin, Connor, Prescott, Judy, Dylan, Tony, San Fran D, Thielen, Tyler Boyd, Daniel Carson, Cordell Patterson. Stacked, my guy. And with the 11th pick, too? Okay. I mean, your wide receiver room, who is strong? CD, Cup, I'm not sure what I'm going to get out of Cup, but he's been pretty solid for the past years. You can't do it. I think what happened to Terry McLaurin in preseason was a crime. He should have never been out there that long in the final preseason game where he got he got his toe issues. I think he's going to be fine for the start of the preseason or regular season if I'm not mistaken, but he just should have never happened. Um, Jerry Judy could be a big hit in Denver, of course. Kadarius Toney. Um, I mean Thielen, I had an eye on in because I think my sneak pick, guys, here, and I might sound a little crazy. I think Carolina is going to win the NFC South. And I know a lot of people, you got Atlanta, who, had a lot of stuff happen. You've got, of course, New Orleans, who I think is the favorite among a lot of people with Derek Carr and Chris Olave. But I'm telling you, just the wide receiver revamp they've did down there. And it's not based off talent. It's about system fit and scheme and the size of the wide receivers. They went and got one of my coveted guys, Hayden Hurst, for tight end in free agency. Of course, you got to talk about their pick and Bryce Young, their quarterback of the future, who looked up and down in preseason a little bit. And of course, they've always been a good defensive team, even after more. And they were still able to win games after Moore and left. And maybe Burns will be more revamped for this season to stay. I said, don't sleep on Carolina, guys. Yeah, your running back room. It depends on really depends. AJ Dillon, James Conner, Saquon. God, man, your wide receiver room is strong. So, one thing I would be immediately thinking about, if you're still there, start eyeballing a team potentially with a running back that you like for a trade candidate. You've got such a strong wide receiver room, in my opinion. That's one of the. I've been known for doing that in some of my drafts. If the board's not going my way, and like I feel like I'd be reaching a little bit for some of my running backs. Now I reached hard for some of my players in this draft. I know that. Um, I took big swings that could cost me the league this year, and we'll find out. But oh, exactly. Connor will be a volume guy in the backfield in Arizona. Arizona is going to have nothing else to do, but be wary of that too. So he's going to get the carries, but he's also probably going to get a decent amount of attention from the opposing teams. So that was one of those ones when I was eyeballing Connor. I was weighing. I'm like, man, like I said, there's nothing there. I'm just my thing is if you end up with an injury. So let's say this: Bijan Robinson and Alagier are killing it in Atlanta. Cordell doesn't really see much of the field. God forbid Saquon or James Conner get injured. I think you could be in a really tough spot and having to go week by week picking up players, which depending on the league, that could cause some issues here and there. You know what I'm saying? Um, but like I said, your wide receiver room is so stacked, in my opinion, that whenever I would have draft like that felt like that, where again I just took like I had some drafts where I wasn't valuing certain running backs very high. Those years, the running backs weren't where I wanted them, and of course, elite tight end was hard to find. Elite wide receiver was hard to find, and so I stacked my room with actually an extra tight end and some extra wide receivers. And I was originally doing some week to week matchups changing, but eventually after an injury or so, I was able to find some really good trade candidates. It really depends on your league. You know your league better than anyone else. You might be playing with randos. You might be playing with, guys you've played with for years where trades are going to happen. In some leagues, a lot of people don't like to trade, so Damian. Oh, did you have Damian Pierce? I didn't see Damian Pierce. If you did, my apologies. I actually drafted Damian Pierce myself. If you want to look at, I'm about to say we'll go to my team real quick. And Connor has a high ceiling. I've been watching Connor since, of course, he was a Pittsburgh Steeler, being a Baltimore Ravens fan. We've been watching James Conner for a long time. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. If one of those running backs get injured, but in the same breath, you can say though, if a wide receiver gets injured, you're so well stocked at wide receiver, in my opinion, that I feel like you'll be able to find a trade candidate. And running backs is one of those ones. God forbid, let's say start of the season, hypothetical here, knocking on wood for you. One of those running backs goes down early, and you lose the first, maybe 2 games out of 5 in the start of the season. Your waiver wire is going to open up, and running back is one of those positions. There's always going to be with injuries, stuff that happens. And we might see some running backs fake injuries this year because the whole running back holdout. So with that being said, running back is something sometimes you can play week to week on. I've done it with tight ends a lot as well. If I don't get my elite tight end to start the draft, I'm not even fucking wasting a spot till later in the draft. So I think you're in a good position, to be honest with you. It's a work league. They praise their guys like they're solid diamond studs. Oh yeah, I've got high expectations for the Houston Texans. I've seen so many people saying they're gonna finish so low and so bad, but I think D'Amico Ryan coming in there is gonna change the culture of the defense. I've got a lot of hype in Stroud, Pierce, and some of the moves that they've made. I think Anderson's gonna be a monster off the edge for them on defense. Not quite JJ Wattish, but he's gonna be pretty dang good. But yeah, who do you think I should pick up? Kareem Hunt? That's tough. Let me look at your roster again. The question becomes not who you pick up, but who would you drop? You know what I mean? Like, Kadarius Toney. How's Kadarius looking? He got traded to Kansas City, correct? So he's got high upside, so I like him to a certain degree. I mean, Cordell basically, I guess, would be the candidate for me. But Cordell's got kick returning potential. He's got a lot of flex potential. So I totally understand. Cordell's been a favorite of the flex position for I don't know how many freaking years. I'm a Cardinals fan, he says. I hope they suck so we have their first round pick. Hey, I feel you on that, my guy. Y'all made some trades if I'm not mistaken in the draft. I'm excited to see what the Cardinals become next year. Kind of like you. It's going to be a rough season for Cardinal fans. You know, as a Ravens fan, I haven't had to deal with that too much, thankfully. You know what? We'll have to get together. Like this past year, I almost did a project where I called it PRP, Project Rebuild Panthers, because I'm from South Carolina, so like the Carolina Panthers is like my NFC second team, kind of. So I want the Panthers to succeed. I want them to do well, and I wanted to kind of get together a group of friends to play GM essentially of the Panthers and talk and debate and discuss draft picks, free agent picks, and everything across the board. And the Panthers were it this past year, and your Cardinals might be it this year, so we might have to talk about that a little bit. As a Raven fans, what am my thought on Mark Andrews? So, all right, if you've ever watched my videos, I played tight end when I played football. So I am very hard on my tight ends, like very hard. With that being said, though, he shut me up last season. So we got to go back 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago, Mark Andrews had a lot of drops that I felt he was not credited with, according to stats. He had a bad problem with what I called double clutch catching, which is it hits your hands once and then you catch it again. Now, that's great if you make all the catches. Fine. But the amount of balls, and see, the thing that frustrates me is this. Mark Andrews would drop 2 years ago a catch, double clutch a catch, and drop it on an easy catch, and then turn around the next play and make a one-handed jumping catch over 2 DBs on a post or a corner route. You know what I'm saying? I think he has every bit of potential to be a number 1 tight end. And I think actually you're going to see better and more consistent numbers out of Mark Andrews this year. Now, I had some gripes with Mark Andrews with his run blocking last year. And sometimes when he doesn't get the ball, I think he gets a little upset. But it's just a competitive nature in him, and he's the dog. I was not a fan of that dirty shot in the preseason. But so let me explain why I think he's going to have better and more consistent numbers. This goes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier with sometimes the biggest change to fantasy numbers is an offensive coordinator change. We saw a big change in the Lions last year, and Todd Monken is coming in for the offensive coordinator job now for the Baltimore Ravens. So for those that aren't familiar with Todd Monken is the former offensive coordinator from the University of Georgia. He won 2 national titles with them in back-to-back years. So this has 2 parts. Of course, national title winning offense with Stetson Bennett, who now plays for or got drafted by the Rams. And he improved his quarterback play both seasons. So that's great. Awesome. Shows a lot, and it shows he's adapted his system from the different coaching positions. But the biggest thing, again, where it ties to Mark Andrews, a lot of people don't realize the number one tight end in college football is coming out next year's draft from the University of Georgia. I believe he had like 900 yards in college football last season, which is ridiculous. I forgot what the technical title is for the best tight end in football. Now, a lot of people were more familiar with, oh my God, what was his name? Washington? No. But the kid that was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers lit up with his 40 time. Oh my God, it's going to drive me nuts now. We're going to. I don't want to get his name wrong. Darnell Washington. Okay. So, Darnell Washington, a lot of people had him flexed anywhere from a first round pick to like 6th round. He went a little later, but he was number 2 tight end in Georgia's system. He wasn't. So, if I remember, let's 2022 UGA stats. Now, if we go to our receiving yards, yeah. So we had Brock Bowers last year, had 942 yards and 7 touchdowns as a tight end in the University of Georgia offense. So now, basically, Brock Bowers is Mark Andrews, essentially. So with that being said, I expect to see some tight end screens out of this offense. I think, like I said, I think Andrews is going to see a lot more receptions than he saw last year. I think he's going to see more targets. But with that being said, I think you're going to see some of his targets stolen by Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kolar. We just have such a strong tight end room that it's kind of rough, you know what I'm saying? So it's tough because I think he's going to have better numbers. I think he's going to have better routes. But he might lose a touchdown or two because we're going to see more wide receivers out there. Patrick Ricard has actually been playing up on the offensive line like an extra offensive lineman and less as a fullback in the backfield. So, and another thing to, again, where are the targets going? Is it going to be more of a spread offense like we're expecting? Is Odell Beckham Jr.'s last 1,000-yard season came when he was in Cleveland, where, drumroll, Todd Monken was the current offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. So we're also expecting a huge resurgent season from Odell. The Ravens aren't going to shy away from the run. So it's one of those ones, one of my only really knock on Mark Andrews from this season, and I think he could be the number 1 tight end. I just didn't want to draft too many Baltimore players, and I kind of hate myself now, is that there's only so many targets to go around. You know what I'm saying? So who is the ball going to go to? You got Dobbins, Edwards as the top 2 running backs. Throw in Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell in there. Wide receivers, you got electric Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham Jr. and the former first-round pick Rashad Bateman. There's 3 first-round pick wide receivers, basically. It's like I said, where's the ball gonna go? But thanks for dropping in. Thanks everyone for dropping in. Like I said, I've got a calculus test in like 8 hours from now, so I need to get a little bit of sleep and studying in. I still haven't even eaten dinner yet. With that being said, guys, thank you everyone for dropping in. Thank you everyone who participated in the draft tonight. And I look forward to seeing everyone, hopefully here in our future streams. We're going to give our final shout outs here to some of our fellow streamers. We had Tony Colt drop in, our 49ers guy. We had Payo Time drop in, our Rams guy. Chimera, a Bills streamer. We had our boy Joe Stevens drop in, who is our Seahawks content creator. So we had a lot of different content creators come in, and a lot of our fantasy football team managers are small content creators. So definitely stick around. If you liked what you saw, guys, if you liked what you heard, hopefully we'll be going a little more in depth in some of our future videos for fantasy football predictions and lineup settings. And with that, guys, again, thank you to everyone for dropping in, joining in, and listening in. It's been a pleasure, and I hope everyone has a great evening or morning wherever you're at or listening to. With